Hello, I'm Johnny, and I'm here for Powerline with a Token Rambu deck. This one, I decided to focus on one of the bosses from the newer set, Shokudaihiri Toku. He used to be a very shiny crit before. We actually had a fun effect, and then he got promoted to a boss. So, Token Rambu, it has a lot of really unorthodox boss units and strides that capitalize on doing a little bit of everything. In the instance of this one, it's kind of like a mini alt line. On stride, you choose a unit, call it from hand, it gets 5k. Then you choose a unit with the signature keyword, Homare, and then it gains 5,000. So, obviously as the boss, we play 4 of him. Then for grade 3 alternatives, we have our rearguard functioning, Hotaru Toku. He has the Homare keyword, so calling him from hand synergizes very well with him. You can stack powers onto him and make him a 21k beater. On top of that, he has an on-hit skill. If he hits, counterblast 1. With the Homare skill, once per turn for all Homare skills, you get to stand a column. You just stand a column, not a unit, a column. There's no power, but you can still turn him into a 21 attacker. Or, if your opponent is unfortunate, you can force them into a situation where they would have to guard a rear column 2 times with crit. My backup option is Togetsunemaru Token. On stride, counterblast 1, you draw a card after looking at the top card and throwing it on the top or bottom, and then you soul charge. So, he's better in control matchups where you're going to be losing a lot of rear guard because you can still generate resources. So, one of the functions of the Token Rambu, of the new Token Rambus, is that there's a lot of synergy between the grade 2s and grade 1s. In the instance of these ones, the race of them, Uchiganata, or however you pronounce it. I'm sorry, I'm not that deep. I'm kind of, but not that much. They have synergy with some of the grade 1, the Wakizashi. Your primary attackers are going to be these columns. Izumi no Kami, or Kanasada, his ability, when he's placed on van or rear, you can soul charge a card from hand, and then superior call either, well, at least for this deck, any of the Wakizashis in the same column as him. And then if he's boosted by these grade 1s, he'll gain an additional 4k power. So, either of these columns is usually going to be a 15k guard, 19, 20 in the early stages of the game, if you can create that column. It's not something the opponent's usually going to want to drop 2 cards for. It gets you very quick damage. And then this guy, on swing, counterblast 1 to turn into an 11k beater, and then if he's boosted by a grade 1, you can soul blast 1 to countercharge. Kunihira, he's a really strong back row booster. So, in this instance, for him, at Generation Break, if he boosts these guys, he gains 3,000 just for boosting a unit of these races. And then, if they have one of the newer Niko Kaigan abilities, which is, it's not like a class-specific ability, it's more like a conditional, rather it's a name-based ability, it's another 3k. So that makes it a 13k boost. So this boosting here turns into a 15k guard at 22, and boosting here turns into a 26k column. So 15k guard, 20k guard. He's gonna get 4k. Right. The perfect card of choice is chosen for the race because it's another target that can be searched out. Its limit break 3 ability is when it's placed on guard circle, counterblast, soul blast, look at the top card, and if it's triggered, you can add it to hand. If you whiff, well, you at least get the counterblast back. But more importantly, it's for the name. However, you don't have a means of normally getting this back, which is what this grade 2 is for. The original Kanasada. Soul Blast 1 on boosted. At 3 or more damage, you choose a unit, he gains 3k, and then you can bounce a unit with the Limit Break 3 ability back to hand. The last grade 2 still turns into a 22k beater with help of Kunihira. This is Yasasada. Counterblast 1 in the main phase gives him 2k power, and then the Hamare skill, which unfortunately, because he doesn't have Hamare before, doesn't stack with Shokugakiri. He gets 2k, and then on hit, pitch 1, draw 2. You can only use that skill once, even if you were to stand it through an effect. So, it's not going, like, without stand triggers, that ability isn't going to be reliable, but it does create an additional pressure to guarding the Hataramaru.
After something attacks, I can turn it into soul.
Remaining grade 1s, you have 2 of the Stride Enabler, and then I have another grade 1 with the grade 2 grades, Kiyomitsu token. When he's boosted by one of the grade 1s, he gains a Magnum Assault type skill. At the end of the battle, Counterblast Soul Blast, restand with +4. This ability is not once per turn, so if you're able to restand the column, then the column's going to go off again. Your triggers, you have 4 crit, you have 4 draw, 8 crit, 4 heal. The 4 crits, they act as Red Lightning Silent Stroke clones into the soul countercharge. And our new crits.
Sky Knight here, just wanted to say, best draw trigger in the whole game. Continue.
Yes, it is a very good draw trigger. And Shokugakiri, when your Vanguard swings, if he's standing, you choose 2 units, give them 3k in the front row, and then you draw. So, unfortunately, he has to be standing, but there are ways around this. Lastly, we have the starter, original Kiyomitsu. Original Kiyomitsu. Positioning, I am not good at that. His skill is, if he boosts, and you have no face-up damage, Soul Blast 1 to give him 3k and an on-hit skill to put him into the soul and draw. So, he is a means of sustaining Counterblast even after you've given up your offensive ability, meaning after you've blown out all your Counterblast. You have a lot of means of reclaiming Counterblast in this deck. It's very self-sustaining. And you have also several means of refilling your soul. So, the big synergies are big beaters, Magnum Assaults, and lots of refresh. Plus we have some good on-hit pressure. As for the G-Zone, well, Sea Breeze is always nice, especially because you can very easily reclaim your Counterblast. Your first stride options are Iwatushi and Tsurumaru. Iwatushi, older stride. Counterblast 1 during the main phase, he becomes a Vermilion. Punches the whole front row. And then Tsurumaru, he gets Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1 during the main phase, Superior Call at grade 2 and grade 3 for the drop zone. At Generation Break 3, or rather if he's in Generation Break 2, when he uses it, at the end of the turn, you can bounce one of the units called by the effective hand. So it fills field for a relatively low cost and can possibly give you hand damage, or rather can allow you to reclaim the hand or preserve cards that you would prefer not to be blown up. Or simply let you use this for stride fodder, and then later it becomes your 21k attacker. Honestly, with the G-Zone at present, sometimes this is a little bit awkward because the opponent has no front row and you have to hard stride or use a stride enabler to stride. It's a little unfortunate. Your first stride comes out a little bit vanilla. We don't really have a good first stride yet in those situations. Other stride options, we have the original Munachika. He blows up front row when Counterblast 1, G-Flip. For every 2 units face up, blow up a unit in the front row. Then 3k for every face up unit in the G-Zone. At Generation Break 2, when his ability is used, he gains a crit. So he's a big, scary beater that's probably going to get perfect carded into Oblivion. Nihongo. When he swings, You counterblast 1, he gains guard restrict at generation break 3, and 3k for every rear guard. So he is a good late game big attack. Ishikiramaru, counterblast 1 and do a G flip when he's rested. And when all of your units are rested and he swings, he gains 10k and crit and an additional drive check for 1 counterblast. So this card works really well in the control matchup. This one works when you know your opponent's hand is booty, and anybody likes dropping perfect guards from their opponent's hand. The reason why I use this particular card comes down to new Minichica. Counterblast 1, pitch 2 cards from hand. When he swings, he's going to restand all the rears and then they gain 3k. So the particularly disgusting thing that happens is you have really strong defensive columns for 20k guard and then 25k guard. Then you've got additional attacks here for 10k guard, 5k guard, then let's see, 11, 13, 24, 30, and then 20. It gives you a lot of extra attacks with much higher power. And you can also use Uki, we'll call him Uki. He can also continually sustain your counterblast. You can make a very strong 5 counterblast turn out of this. G-guard options, presently we don't have too many. Soul Blast 1, gain 10k at damage 3 or higher, and then Juzamaru. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, you reduce the attacker's power by 10k, and then if it's Vanguard, he gains an additional 5k shield. So, up until recently, Blaster Blade blasted out. Fun times. It's a situational card, but it ruins restanders and just has a high shield potential. I think the deck at present, it's very good at resource management and has a lot of flexibility, but I'd say probably still doesn't have the funnest time against control matchups. It's able to rush a little bit. You can throw down cards without being too concerned about their longevity for the grade 2s. I'd say it's not perfect yet, but it's still able to answer a good amount of threats at the moment.